Cool. So my name's Lizzie. I'm a registrar in geriatrics, and I'm going to talk to you briefly about a project that I did in Swindon to try and improve our post-falls assessments for our inpatients. So just a bit of background about falls, as I'm sure you all know, it's a significant burden for the NHS. Every day in England and Wales, about 300 patients will fall. Only a small proportion of those will come to moderate or significant harm, only about 4%. Which as a result means that people doing post-fall reviews tend to get a bit desensitised to the importance of doing proper, thorough reviews because they're not expecting to find anything wrong. As a result, the NPSA has issued guidelines that all hospitals with inpatient beds need to have a protocol for post-falls reviews in order to make sure that we're dealing with these situations safely. We did a quick survey of our junior doctors in Swindon and found that 84% of our junior doctors had never used protocol at all, and only 7% of them felt confident in doing post-falls assessments. So we wanted to address this. So the first thing that we did was create a Pro-forma, which incorporated the national as well as the local guidelines. And then what we wanted to do was try and embed that Pro-forma into clinical practice using simulation. So we devised simulation sessions for our junior doctors, mainly F1s, which had 4 separate fall scenarios, which were all derived from real incidents that had taken place on our wards. And we ran these scenarios on the ward in the clinical environment, normally in corridors or waiting areas, because we don't have spare beds, surprisingly. Obviously, we encourage use of the Pro-forma during the simulated scenarios, and they gave feedback to the participants at the end. We received extremely positive feedback, as everyone always does when you provide teaching, particularly in a simulation scenario. And we found that confidence in post-fall assessment was significantly improved in our immediate questionnaires after the sessions, but also when we questioned them months later about their confidence in post-fall assessment, we found improvements there as well. We also audited how that affected real-term post-falls assessments and found that there was a significant improvement in all the domains that we audited in terms of A to E assessments, assessments for injury sustained and documentation of the notes as well. So, in conclusion, what we've shown is that you can use in situ simulation to introduce and embed Pro-formas into clinical practice, specifically in this case improving our inpatient post-falls assessments. Thank you very much.
Do you have any questions for Lizzie? At the back?
Did you find any difference in the number of patients who fell again? Was it a reduction in the...
We didn't look at that, so no. It's fall prevention and post-fall assessments. They're linked, but also two very separate things. But we didn't look specifically at whether or not it reduced patient fall. That's a sort of a much bigger project.
How often were you running these?
So once a week. So the way we did it was, obviously when you're trying to do this in a clinical environment, there's challenges with that. So the F1's already had a structured teaching program once a week. So each week I'd go down there, pinch 4 of them, and then run the scenarios that way.
Was it just for the junior doctors, or did you try and make it multidisciplinary?
It was designed just for the F1s, but we actually found when we ran the scenarios on the ward, as you can see, one of the nurses just got involved, which was fantastic, but that wasn't actually part of our structure, but we ran with it and actually did manage to bring them into the scenarios as we went along.
And because you followed it up, it sounded like you've got good evidence of how it worked, how well it worked. Is it something that you're going to be able to repeat?
So it has been repeated, but in a slightly different format. So when the new cohort started in August, it was incorporated into their induction rather than running through the year. As I've now changed hospitals, as is the way with junior doctor rotations, there isn't anyone doing the role that I was throughout the year, but it has been initiated at induction.
Okay, thank you very much.